People always say that you are your own worst critic. But critic is just another word for judge. And when you are your own biggest judge, you can become your own jailer. For the past year, I have felt in prison in my own head. As an artist, I have been stuck and no amount of inspiration has been able to give me the freedom to create. This feeling led me to abandon my personal projects and instead help others bring their vision to life. It's not that I didn't have idea or want to create. It's just when it's not your own story, isn't it scary to put into the world? For nearly 6 months, I have worked in helping others. I thought that letting go of creative decisions would allow me to breathe as an artist. It hasn't worked out. I mean, sure, I had made some money, but at the end of the day, the goal and the dream I had made for myself never went anywhere. I just chose to ignore them because I wasn't able to move forward with my idea with any confidence.
I know that you are having trouble believing right now
यही तो लाइफ है।
that everything is gonna be
आपको मैं सम्मानित करता हूँ इस झोले से।
alright.
I've let the pressure of an audience influence my creative process. I stopped viewing my project as an artist and just began viewing it as a judge. Over time, I realized that the thing holding me back was perfectionism. The dictionary defines perfectionism as a disposition to regard anything short of perfection as unacceptable. You hear a lot of people call themselves perfectionists, and usually it's said as some sort of like a humble brag. But for me, perfectionism was an anchor.
Everyone,
The thought of
welcome to the
making
new vlog.
mistakes was paralyzing. Everything had to be perfect or it wasn't even worth trying. Or so I thought. One simple realization was able to break these spines holding me back. When you look at yourself in a mirror, you don't see what everyone else sees. You are overly critical of every detail. We all wish we could change something we see, but the reality is that those changes are things almost no one else would notice. What I realized is that my art is no different. I was criticizing my work so heavily because I was viewing it in a mirror. I knew what I wanted to see, and if I could make it exactly that, I didn't see any point in trying. But when you view your work like that, you will never be happy. There's always a chance that can be made. It's an endless cycle of judgment and abandonment. Perfectionism in my mind is a measure of how well something does what it is intended to do. I create art to express myself, sure, but real goal is to create something that evoke emotion from my audience, from all of you. And if my work does that, then it's as perfect as it need to be. Scott Adams said, creativity is allowing yourself to make mistakes. Art is knowing which ones to keep. I'll never be able to show you exactly what I see in my head. At best, it will be an approximation with some flaws. But that's okay, because those flaws will be the mistake I will learn to accept and choose to keep.